A privilege, and it's a great honor for me to be here in Mysore this morning to share with you my experiences on how terrorism can be defeated. As I walked into this auditorium, I saw the title of the seminar, Fight Against Terror. Personally, with the experience I've had in Sri Lanka and in the Kashmir Valley, and with my historical readings of political violence, may I suggest to you not to use words like fight, like wars, like battles, because defeating terrorism is not about defeating terrorists. It's about winning our own people. We cannot be at war with our own people. Despite 61 years of experience in fighting insurgency, which no other country in the world has, our track record is this one. 32% districts of India are under Naxal influence. 40,000 people have died in the Kashmir Valley. The guilty of 1993 Bombay blast have yet to be convicted. And the biggest lesson history teaches us is that we do not learn from history. And this is why I have chosen to speak to you on the symbiosis, the partnership between police and community. That is the only way to defeat terrorism in any country of the world. Political power does not come out of the barrel of a gun. It never did. You can have all the tatas, you can have all the laws, you can have all the equipment, you will not be able to defeat terrorism. Please understand that. I say that with historical conviction. You can have the best laws. The world's sole superpower, United States of America, has got a clear-cut doctrine on fighting terrorism, has got a homeland security, best coordinated intelligence services, best armed forces, and they are losing in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's time for us to sit up and take note of this fact that you cannot be at war with your own people. And I'm very happy that I'm speaking to a young audience like you, because our struggle to win our own people has to be led by you people on our streets, in our villages, in our homes. It's very important for us to understand why thus far we have been ineffective against terrorism. We, in this country of ours, have no clear-cut mandate for the police forces on how to deal with terrorism. We talk of law and order, we talk of crime, we talk of forensic science, we talk of investigation, we talk of prosecution. We have never studied this whole aspect of terrorism. So there is no clear-cut mandate, therefore there is no clear-cut mission or training or organization in all the police forces of our country to deal with terrorism. We can deal with communalism to some extent, but we are not mission, vision, psychologically oriented on how to deal with terrorism. And terrorism is the game of the mind. It's like chess. It's mind warfare and not body warfare. This is why our strategy has been police-centric. It should be people-centric. And our strategy in dealing of terrorists has been police-centric because we are unable to differentiate the difference between terrorists and terrorism. Terrorist is armed action against an individual. It's body warfare. Terrorism is addressing the mind of your own people. It addresses the root causes of why people pick up the gun. The root causes of terrorism and any form of political violence is because of real perceived social injustices, historical wrongs. When people feel that it is better to die on their feet than to live on their knees, that life after death is better than living death. When man says enough is enough, he picks up the gun and he says, I am prepared to die. You can kill the body, you cannot kill the human spirit. And if anybody in this day and age thinks that by the power of the gun, the power of the law, you can defeat terrorism, I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, recommend those people to go to Nibhans and have their head examined. They need psychiatric help. This is why Indians don't have a strategic culture, Indians don't have a historical sense, we don't learn from history. And 65 years, 61 years down the line, after Iraq, India is the most violent country in the world. From terrorist standpoint. Not Afghanistan. India is number 2 in the world. Therefore, there is a requirement for a complete strategic and psychological reorientation by the police and by the citizens of our country. And that is what I am here to say. 2611 has clearly exposed the shortcomings of the police and the NSG, all the government departments, in the inability to deal with violence. To think that you require 400 commandos who arrive 10 hours late, who take 48 hours to kill 10 people, we need to hang our heads in shame. There's something wrong. They are not commandos then. I hate to think what the American Delta Force or the British SAS and the American GSG-9 would do. They would just take 5 or 6 people to deal with the situation. The whole country was held to ransom. We need to turn the light inwards, introspect and reflect, where have we gone wrong? And I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, this is the hypothesis I am going to develop, that the primary responsibility of dealing with terrorism is that of the police, not the NSG. This is a myth. It is the police of a state which is responsible to deal with terrorism and not the NSG. And I will therefore suggest a strategic partnership between the police and the community. And unless this partnership is there, the bacteria and virus of terrorism will survive. Ladies and gentlemen, I am carrying with me one of the latest India Today magazines, which contains articles and articles and articles on what the police should do. And these are by senior serving and retired police officers. Everybody wants better laws, better equipment, better armament, better this, better that. May I suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that in life we have to find an answer with what we have and not what we should have. We can concurrently keep on fighting our bureaucratic battles on what the police should have. But my way of addressing the problem is that we have to find answers. But what we have, what we are today, this is the way we are working, this is what we are. It will happen.